Welcome back to Tater Talk. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Haley.
And in today's episode, we are going to be exploring our reliable consistency and everything that we do to get there and how we remain the most consistent manufacturer on the market.
Yep. And today you'll meet Mark McCoy, who is our Vice President of Manufacturing at Lamb Weston. Mark has been with Lamb Weston for over 30 years after getting his degree in agribusiness from Washington State University. So you can imagine there's a wealth of information that he has to share. And also, he's an impressive example of growth in Lamb Weston. So I think he might take the cake on how many roles somebody has had in the company.
Yeah, I only have a few to list here, and he has been a production and QA supervisor, a warehouse production supervisor, a QA manager, a production manager, a plant manager, and he's now a Lamb Weston Foundation board member, along with being the VP of manufacturing. Like, I didn't even scratch the surface, and I think he touches on it a little bit in the episode, but just know he's done a lot.
Yeah. A ton. So we're super excited to have Mark on the show, and we hope you all enjoy this episode.
All right. Well, thank you, Mark, for joining us on the show today. We're so excited to have you and talk about our reliably consistent products. So I'll give it over to Rachel for kicking us off.
Yeah. So we know Lamb Weston is synonymous with consistent quality, and really that means that we're reliably consistent. And that's a really big differentiator for us at Lamb Weston. Can you talk about why you think this is true and what goes into that thought process?
Yeah, it's great to be here on Tater Talk. A great opportunity to talk about the facilities and the plant and Lamb Weston and quality. I've been with Lamb Weston for a little over 30 years, so looked at lots of different facilities, and I will say the consistent quality and how we do it reliable. It starts with the people and then potatoes. The people each and every day working in the facilities, working through standards and practices to drive that consistent quality each day. There's a lot to unpack in that with process quality training that all of our team leaders go through. We have training for all of our hourlies that we go through that truly help drive that consistent quality every day. I can't stress enough about the 8,000 supply chain members that we have in each of our facilities across the U.S. and the world that help deliver that each and every day.
Well, I think it's awesome too. I think we've said this on every episode that it's behind that, like you say, that staggering number of people. That's just so much that we don't even know or are aware of. And so I think that's what's so cool about having these conversations, to have that little in-look or little glimpse of stuff that are behind the scenes and how many people are paying attention to it every single day.
That's right. I think, and we run 24/7, 300 plus days a year, right? So it takes an army to manage and to lead that and make that quality, so that the sales, when they're out there and the end consumer gets that product, that they're seeing the same product each and every day. And plants take a lot of pride into delivering that consistent quality each and every day. And it's rewarding to make sure that our customers get that right consistent quality every day.
Mm-hmm. They can bet on us.
Yeah. I also, since you have that tenure of 30 years here, not that our consistency or our reliable consistency has changed that much, but have you seen those standards have really helped ensure that even more as we've grown over the 75 years we've been around?
Yeah. The difference is the people are the people, right? I mean, that part is continuing. We continue to have great people. It really gets into the equipment and to the automation and the equipment that we have in our labs and of our fryers and our blanchers and then it's our systems that control the temperature, I'll call them deviation. So everything's tighter now versus before. You had some bigger swings in equipment temperatures. Just technology has allowed us to fine tune that even more. So that's just in the factory. Then you go, I talked about potatoes as well. Potatoes is a huge part of it. You have to have the right potatoes to come into the factory to start. You just can't make great product out of bad potatoes. You need to have consistent potatoes, and it goes back into the variety development, making sure that every variety has a different time of year that we run to maximize that quality and that consistent quality 365 days, for sure.
Yeah, the advances really that have been made in your time, I'm sure, but over the course of even just the past 10 years are phenomenal.
So. Amazing. Yeah, I think the potato the varieties, the new varieties that we've added allowed us to have that same quality even more consistently the whole year, whether it's from out of field potatoes in July, August, September, and then as you get all the way into May and June, then making sure that we have that same quality, because that's truly what we strive for in the factory is that it doesn't matter whether it's out of field potatoes fries in January or fries in May, that they open that box or open that bag and it's the same every day.
Every time. Yep.
Every time.
Absolutely. Okay, I feel like we've kind of talked about this, but maybe if you could highlight or dig a little bit deeper on those QA standards at the plants, like if there's something specifically that something they follow that allows us to really ensure that, because you said it really starts with our people. So having those standards.
Yeah, and I'll start standards just with potatoes, understanding, knowing exactly what potatoes we're bringing into the factory that day for the customers that we're going to have. So we make sure that we match up the quality of the potato with the customer to make sure that we have the right finished to make the right finished product. And then it's about people and we have what we call like upstream checks, and we talk about in process quality training and building in the quality. We don't talk about inspecting in the quality. We build in the quality. So we're doing all that pre-work on the potatoes. Then we're analyzing all the data, building the data, bring them into the factory. We do lots of analysis on the potatoes, and then as we're running the product, we've got systematic checks and standards across each of the equipment to check the quality, whether you're biting the product, feeling the product, touching it, looking at it, and then coupled with the automation that we now have with defect removal systems and some of the technology I talked about earlier with the controls, the fryers, freezers. I mean,
It's endless. Yeah, I'm just laughing.
Right?
I'm like, we could just have you list off a Rolodex of all the processes.
Right. I mean, the amount of and at the end of the day, even 30 years, 50. I mean, process starts cutting and it ends in freezing and packaging, right? But in between that, the modernization and what we've done with the equipment to allow that, and then we make that training with our team members to allow them to watch it, learn it, touch it, and make adjustments to the line flow to make sure that we are meeting the customer spec. And then it goes into as we're done packaging it, and then we do the quality checks in the lab, and they are lab technicians and supervisors. They're in there cutting and looking at reviewing the product every 15 to 20 minutes based on the customer specification, ensuring that it meets that spec and making necessary adjustments to fine tune that to what we call average quality level.
Wow.
Which make it consistent.
Yeah, and I know we were going to touch on like the rigorous process standards, but I kind of feel like you just walked through that too with the QA standards. If there isn't anything else there, I have a follow-up question, but is there anything else on those like rigorous processes that you want to touch on too?
There is just every piece of equipment has controls, has limits, has standards, whether they're for, we always, for people, it's people safety and food safety, right? Those are non-negotiable. Those are near and dear and core to us, that we have to do those right before we do anything to make sure in the factories. And we just have to keep ensuring those standards across each one are met. And that's what the team leaders and the leaders on the floor and the team members at each of the plants really take pride in knowing that they produce a product for all of our customers, whether it be McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, whether it be I mean, all the different stuff, all the different food service retail labels that we have, they get a lot of pride in each of those facilities that they're supporting that and doing that.
And that was actually going to be my follow-up question is, when you talked about all this, you talk about, obviously the equipment has these standards and we built equipment certain ways to hit those processes and make sure we're staying reliably consistent on that. But I think so much that I'm hearing is the people behind it. It's the people that are coming in every 10 to 15 minutes and doing the cuttings, people on the line touching and making sure that there's no defects. And can you talk maybe a little bit about, maybe dive deeper into the pride of that and just the feeling that people have and why it's important to the people that are behind the scenes to be that reliably consistent for Lamb Weston? Because they're the ones that are really making it happen, right?
The cool thing is, and I like to talk about worked in lots of facilities throughout the years, and most of the facilities are in smaller communities, and that, right, and there's multi generations in each of the facilities, right? I mean, there's people that have been there a week, and there's people that have been there 50 years, right? And from the time they open the facilities up, and so you have a lot of generations of families in there that truly count on Lamb Weston to, that great job, great company, moving forward. But the people side, it's the ongoing training of our people, monthly, keeping people informed on what's happening in the company, what's happening in this customer. We have a tour this week. We have a new product coming. Here's what, all hands on meeting to understand what the nuances of that product and how we're going to meet and exceed that customer's expectations. So there is a lot of training. That's what really, as a leader in the facility, it's really about managing people and making sure that their needs are met, and making sure that we're, as salary teams and everything, that we're a resource for them.
Yep, love that.
Yeah, I think the more we talk with people during these interviews, we keep hearing, yes, potatoes are great, but we couldn't do it without people. And when you speak to our automated technological advances, that's great. But somebody being here 50 years and then having their son or daughter follow them, that legacy knowledge, if you will, brings a whole nother perspective to the way we create these products and pass down all these stories of Lamb Weston. So I'm sure that, and maybe in your experience even too, feels like an added benefit for reliable, consistent products.
Yeah, for sure. It's in the facilities. It's very family atmosphere. They are all working for each other. Driving to that end common goal of making the right product, a consistent product, a reliable product for the customer each and every day. Because nobody wants to hear negative feedback. Right? We enjoy positive feedback, right? And on cuttings and different things, and sales and different things that we do. But it is enjoyable working in the facilities and seeing that, and plants are very competitive and very, they want to do it and do it right.
Yeah.
Make sure when they go home that day after their shift that they, provide a product for Lamb Weston for our customers.
Yeah. As you're talking, I just glance at your phone with the win as one. And I think that all of it is it too. It's like we are one at the end of the day. And so it's important what y'all do all, like from the very beginning to the very end. And if it's important with the potatoes, that goes into our growers, then what's happening in the factory. But I think also what you said too, there's something awesome about that consistency of the legacy of family after family, but also too, it's just showing that there is good family atmosphere here, or they wouldn't be encouraging their children to come and work here. And so it's just really awesome to hear those stories of the positive environment, whether you are actually family or just Lamb Weston family, like we are all one together.
Yeah, there's all, at the end of the day, one common goal is to make the right product that on the schedule that day to meet the customers' expectations, and that you go home safe, and that the product's safe, and that is a successful day. And that's first and foremost every day. And then we find, make sure we make the right product. Obviously, that's the key.
Yeah.
So it's the plants truly enjoy tours and sales, because that is where they can shine as well.
Yeah.
And show that, and almost all customers, when they come, they're just like, holy smoke, the passion that comes through when you talk to the people on the floor, you talk to the hourly, you talk to the salary, that really comes to life, and it's easy sale. Really, once you're there, right? I mean, the product is going to do that every day, but then you put the people behind the product, you're like, oh, this is a home run.
Yeah, it really is.
And I mean, listening to you talk, it sounds like you have immense pride in what you do, of course. And after being here for 30 years, I would hope that has just grown.
Right.
And I think personally for you, it's, if you could tell us like your story and how a little bit of your story, how Lamb Weston and all this integrates into your life, and how you feel pride in the work that you do here for our reliably consistent products.
Yeah, I mean, I started right out of college, WSU, and went started in Idaho and didn't know a soul, right? But that plant was, in American Falls, Idaho, and didn't know a soul. But again, we talked about family, right? That team took me in, and I got to know people. Was there for 2 or 3 years, and went to Connell, and then to Minnesota, and then to Pasco, and spent the last bunch of years in Oregon, and then did corporate as well. And the Lamb Weston side of moving around from plant to plants has really allowed me to learn the business really well, whether it's engineering or marketing or innovation or technical center. That part creates so you can continue to tap into those resources, and it truly makes Lamb Weston unique and better as we can all work together to one goal, right?
Mhm.
I think that's what we have seen and continue to see is just everybody driving for that. That's what makes me happy every day, is to be able to talk to lots of different people and do podcasts, different thing that to talk about experiences and share, still good with the new, but there's still a lot of good legacy that happens and that we've done that we don't have to repeat, right?
Right.
Yep.
Because that's we don't need to repay tuition. So, but I'm not anywhere near to retiring yet. Still got lots to go, and I'm excited where Lamb Weston is going.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Exactly. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, I have a Haley question. This tends to be a thing.
What
I
is it,
feel like,
Haley?
yeah, I think I start to do this. Rachel knows one of my favorite podcasts. Her motto is ask smart people not so smart questions. We'll say it like that. And so my thing is, when I started working here, everybody calls it a plant, and you've been calling it a factory.
Yeah. It's either,
What's
right?
the- I was gonna say,
I don't
what's
know
the-
what's better, right? I do call plants too, and I think it's used loosely or
Yeah.
or-
So
right? So
like-
it is. I do sell plants most of the time as well, but I did.
I was just wondering, like,
Just to be clear.
yeah.
It's a plant. And we'll make a lot of fries every day.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's really, it's the same definition, whatever you're going to call it, it's the same definition.
Yeah, I could call it. I do. That is not a dumb question.
Oh, good. You've just validated. So, okay, perfect. Well, now you can add podcast expert guest onto your resume. Nothing else
that'd be great.
applicable.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up today?
No, I think I'm good. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's always good to talk about the plants. I'm very passionate. I've worked 25 plus years in the facilities, and that's where I started, and that's what I lead now is North American plants. So very passionate about that.
Yes, love it. We love it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's all for today's episode on Tater Talk. Thank you, Mark, for everything that you brought to the episode today.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and make sure to click the link to tell us who you want to hear from in the future. And of course, we'll see you next time on Tater Talk.
Bye.
Bye.